Guyana, and welcome to another edition of Facing the Nation. I'm Malika Ramsey. Thank you very much for joining us. We continue our feature of the candidates for the local government elections. Of course, the APNU candidates for local government elections. I did promise you that from about almost a month ago, we started featuring some of the candidates, and we're going to continue to do that until the 12th of November. Of course, the 12th of November is a Monday. So therefore, I think we have one or two other Fridays before. So we'll be featuring more candidates as we go along. Today, I have three candidates to feature. Of course, we're going to focus on two first, and they are the first past the post candidates. And it's very important for us to continue to feature them because it's a guide for you. Those are the faces that you're going to be seeing on the ballot paper come the 12th of November. But of course, I will give them the opportunity to remind you how this works. Of course, in this case, they're the experts, so I'm going to leave it to them. But today, I'd like to welcome for the first time to this program a lady and a gentleman. And I should also say, before we even get into the fact that they are candidates, they are sitting city councillors, Georgetown city councillors. So it's my pleasure to welcome, of course, I'm going to introduce the lady first, ladies before gents, Miss Yvonne Ferguson, and she is the first past the post representative of Constituency 11. Miss Ferguson, welcome to Facing the Nation.
Welcome to you, Malika, and I am glad to be sitting on this program today.
Great, well, we are happy to have you. And welcome to Mr. Heston Bostwick, who is the first past the post representative, the candidate for constituency number 10.
Thank you for having me on your program, Ms. Malika.
All right. It is definitely my pleasure to have the both of you. I know you're not tense. Let me just put that out there. So we're definitely going to have a relaxing conversation. But again, I like to remind the viewers that local government elections are still very new for Guyana. We're still adapting. Remember, this is the second one we're having after such a long period. I mean, we had the first in 2016. We're now having the second one. So every time we talk about local government elections and the preparations, it is a teaching moment for our society. So because it is a teaching moment, I'd like to begin with you, Yvonne Ferguson, the Constituency 11. Let's talk about and highlight the communities that are in Constituency 11.
Okay, thank you, Malika. First of all, Constituency 11 is contained coming all the way from Mandela to northeast of Penitence, come all over to east La Penitence, come across to Walker Terrace on the island, come straight over to Mid-Road La Penitence, taking a piece from Colinda Street straight to Hunter straight to Independence Boulevard, all over to Middle Road, Penitence, Sideline Dam, Yarrow Dam, Alexander Village, straight out to Riverview. That is contained of Constituency 11.
Okay. All right. It's certainly a big community. We're going to talk about some of the things that would have been done for the community. And again, viewers, to remind you, she is a sitting councillor. Both of them, they're both sitting Georgetown City Councillor. Heston Bostwick, let's talk about the communities, the areas in Constituency 10.
Albistown and Charlestown is Constituency 10. The boundaries are in the east, St. Stephen and Colinda Street respectively, in the west, the Demerara River, in the north, Princess Street, and in the south, the Independence Boulevard. Albistown has 3 streets running east to west, and 17 running north to south, and St. Stephen has 15th Street, 4 running east to west, and the others running north to south.
All right. Even before we ask the viewers for votes, of course, and I take this opportunity as usual to remind you that yes, we are the APNU AFC coalition government, but when it comes to local government elections, the APNU is running as a unit. Of course, the APNU in itself is a partnership, but for local government elections, we are APNU, and I like to also plug the fact that the PNC is the largest party in a partnership for national unity. Before we even talk about reminding the people and telling them why they should vote for you and all of that, let's talk about the communities of itself. And in this case, I'll start with you, Heston. You are a sitting councillor.
Yes, I am.
I would want you to highlight some of the things, the positives that you've been able to achieve, not only yourself, because, and viewers, I know it's always a team effort, but I'd like you to highlight some of the things that yourself and team would have been able to achieve, especially from 2016 to now, whether it be coming from inside of the city council, because of course that is a part of Georgetown, or doing it on your own with self-help and these sort of collaborative efforts. Let's talk about achievements.
Well, with regards to achievement in Constituency 10, over the years, since Stephen Ground to start with, the children for the past 2 decades never had the privilege to utilize the ground to hold the school sports activities.
Oh.
And after 2016, that became a reality. The Independence Boulevard, we're now converting that to recreational facility. Before then, it was seen as a dump area. The drains and alleyways in the Alboystown community all were desilted, and from 2016 to now, the residents of Alboystown, despite all the downpour rains, they could not have seen water on the street for excess of 2 days. Just as the cocos and soda are open, the water recede very quickly, even as I speak.
Go ahead.
They also, Alboystown, the residents of Alboystown also had the privilege of seeing all the sewage system being properly operable now. There was a total renovation of the entire system, and currently they are in the process of having better portable water and pressurizing to the extent that they'll be able to get it to the top floor.
Okay, all right. I want to jump in here. And because and it's human nature, and this is even before I bring Yvonne back into the conversation, it's human nature. The more you do for people, the more they want. And you will continue, to be criticized and so on. It always comes amongst to what you do with the criticisms. One of the things people may say, and I heard someone complaining about it, for example, let me just use our own terms, the way we would say things, man, when they're going to do the roads in Alboystown. There's some areas where the roads are, it's still difficult to drive, ride, and in some cases walk. Let's talk about that, because, and I know that there are things happening in the pipeline, but let's talk about the plans for the community now.
Well, the reality with regards to the roads in Alboystown, you would have heard me mention that they're in the process of putting better portable water and pressurized portable water. So as a result of that, the road was excavated to have those pipe laid, and after they would have completed their house-to-house service in terms of the service lines to the various residents, then they are duty-bound, the contractor of GWI are duty-bound to have that road resurfaced from Albert Street on to Suffolk Street, off James Street, and wherever else they would have dug. Perfect.
So to return to the flooding, in the event that we get a not necessarily kind rainy season come December, we don't, is it fair to say that we would not see the sort of flooding that we saw in the past in the Alboystown communities, because we know that's one of the communities that is almost immediately affected in a very devastating way?
Well, I would want to say yes, and to make that a more reality, we would recognize that since the excavation to put on the pipelines commenced, there were some of the stuff that fell back into the drains. I'm in dialogue with the CEO of GWI to speak with the contractor to have that removed before the rainy season.
Okay, perfect.
So they will definitely benefit from a dry community during the rainy season.
Perfect. Yvonne, let me bring you back
Yes,
into the conversation.
like
Let's talk about some of the things that, as not only as councillor, as sitting councillor, but also with your entire team, some of the other things that you would have been able to achieve so thus far in your tenure as councillor. And I know you're bidding to go back or to remain as councillor, I should say.
Yeah. Well, Malika, some of the things I have achieved with my counterparts. As community leader, I have chairpersons. We have formed a delegation of group, and we went into housing where we have some squatters who is living on mid-road, the Penton sideline dam. And we formed a delegation, and we went in and we spoke with the authorities, their minister. And then she gave us proposal to go back on the ground to regularize the persons and get names. We did that, and we took it in. And I must say it was very good from the time we went into 2016. I could say that we have seen progress. Because one, they have came around house to house, number off. And at present, right now, we are at where we have brought in council to do their part off from the drain to the persons where they are living. And right now at present, we are waiting back on housing to give us the go-ahead so that persons could be lotted and be regularized and get their transport.
Both of you have touched on the fact that you have, and this is a fact indeed, you have supporting teams. One of the things that we talked about last week when we had two other candidates, and we did open up the phone lines, and some of the viewers were concerned that even after local government elections, it may be difficult for people to either get directly to you or to make contact with your counterparts to say, well, okay, look, I don't know, I have a drain that's overflowing, whatever the issues in the community. Let's talk about the other members of your team, for both of you, of course, beginning with you, Yvonne, and what is the availability, how easy or how difficult it is for people to reach you, because again, issues don't only come up when it's local government elections.
Well, Malika, I have planned, I have a small place there. It's like an office.
Okay.
I have planned to clean that out and make it an office so that people could reach out to me more in the community, give them my contact number, they would call. Because what we would like to have after this local government is a community come-togetherness, like Alexander Village, Yerodam, and all the communities come together and we form committee groups so that we could hear, and we have various people at different spots, so that we could hear the people concerns and we could work along with it.
I know the office is not set up yet, but just to
No,
give
it is
people
not
an
set
idea
up as yet, but just to give persons that
Mm-hmm.
it will be at 175 Mid Road, the Penitence.
Okay, great. Heston, could you jump in here?
Yes, there's a building situated at the corner of Hunter Street and Independence Boulevard. That building will house the South Georgetown Development Co-op Society Limited, and adjacent to that we'll have the office where the councillors will be. And I said councillors because there is a PR councillor which is on my team, which is Mr. David Malika of Charleston, of Arlette Street, Charleston, Arlette and House Street, Charleston. So we will be there. Sometimes both of us may not be there, but we will ensure a council is there that persons can have dialogues with, report their issues, and we can try to address them before they develop into problems.
And in your constituency, there's one PR, one first past the post and one PR?
Yes,
Is
thank
that
you. That's
accurate?
Constituency 10, yeah.
Yvonne, is it the same with you?
No, it is not the same with me. In my consistency, there are one first pass, and behind me, I'm having 4 PR.
Or do you want to say, just to give people an idea, if they can't get Yvonne, then, well, there are the 4 other persons. Regardless of how this goes after election.
Well, how this goes after election, if they cannot get me, there will be one PR because the 3 may step down, but they will be
Okay.
picking one PR from the 4 other PR. So if they cannot get me, myself and the PR, we will work collaboratively together, and so that they could reach out. If they cannot get me, they will get my PR.
Viewers, if you're now tuning in, of course, this is Facing the Nation. Today we're talking, at the beginning of our program, we're talking with the first past the post candidates of Constituency 10 and Constituency 11. Coming up in a bit, we'll be talking to the first past the post candidate for Constituency 2, and of course, that is Miss Shonda Hope. But we continue. The extremely important part of it now, that's where we come to. Remind the viewers why and why they should vote a Partnership for National Unity come Monday the 12th of November, and how they're doing it in terms of situation, what is going to be on the ballot, where your faces are going to be, beginning with you, Heston.
Thank you again, Malika. Malika, the reason why voters should vote for Heston Bostwick in Constituency 10, and more so the APNU for Constituency 10, is because as councillor, we were able to start a process in the municipality of the Georgetown, of City Hall there, where you will recall in the past, Georgetown was losing its glory. Georgetown was attaining the name the Garbage City. And we had started a process to restore Georgetown to its former glory. And that process we would like to see continue. And because that process is almost in the front burner, having us returned, because we have the expertise to ensure the process we started work, it is already working, and we want to see it continue working, that residents and the citizenry at large of Georgetown will be able to benefit from a clean and healthy city, amongst other issues that we will seek to address as from time to time.
Even before I ask Yvonne's take, you did talk about the work that you've done so far. How are you dealing with criticisms? Because the fact is, Georgetown has been an issue for Guyanese for a number of years. And I like to remind the people, way before 2015, the problems did not start 2015. People like to think that Guyana didn't exist before then. But how are you dealing with critics who are going to come to say to you? And then, of course, lately the major attack is on the mayor of herself, even without commenting on the mayor. How are you going to deal with people who say, okay, you're a sitting councillor, y'all just sit down in there doing whatever? How do you deal with that sort of criticism?
Well, criticisms, once you can analyze them and you can act upon them rather than confront them, it will be better, because persons will feel that the mayor is sitting there and doing what she like, but council don't operate like that. Council operates as a committee, and collectively we make decisions. So to say the mayor is doing this or the mayor is doing that, that would be wrong. The councillors sit together as statutories and they make decisions. When administration would have tabled all their reports from the various heads department, we are the one to say what will go forward and what will not be. And collectively we do that. So in some cases you will find decisions will be made that may affect an individual or some individuals, but benefit the majority, and we are there to serve the majority of citizens.
Okay, great. Yvonne, let's talk about, why are we voting? Why should the residents of Constituency 10 vote for you? 11, sorry.
Well, I would say the residents of Constituency 11, why they should vote for me? They should vote for me because we are the APNU, and we are the backbone of Guyana, right through all around. And we are the persons came out in 2016 and give everybody a good life, the fresh breathing air. Because before, you used to see a lot of heaps piling up here, there, and everywhere, flies. You couldn't even walk around the city of Georgetown. It was very dirty. And we as councillors came together as one body and sit and make decisions how to go about, how to clean, and such like. So that's why I say the vote for Yvonne Ferguson, once again, Constituency 11, to give you that better life and fresh breathing of air.
Okay, perfect. And I think that is a perfect note to wrap up this part of the conversation. On viewers, if you're now tuning in, you missed a great one. But I always like to remind you, for those of you who follow me on social media, the entire conversation will be both on YouTube, my YouTube channel, and Facebook page is a little later on in the day. This would have been a conversation with Yvonne Ferguson, and I mixed them up just now. Yvonne Ferguson is the first past the post candidate for Constituency 11, while Mr. Heston Bostwick is Constituency 10. Of course, this is Facing the Nation. We'll take a quick break and come right back with more. I was stalling. I didn't know it was